Welcome, everybody. Today, we're going to be taking a deep dive into something that might sound a little bit snuffy at first.
Oh,
Protocol. And like all those kind of like unspoken rules that really govern every interaction we have, from a casual coffee date to like a high-stakes business meeting. You sent over this really cool YouTube video
yeah?
by a protocol expert, Minabai Seibofa.
Yes.
And it got me thinking, have you ever like totally bombed a social situation? Just like completely misread the room and wished you could disappear?
Oh, absolutely. I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
That like sinking feeling when you realize you've maybe overstepped a boundary or missed a crucial social cue.
Totally. And Seibofa's video made me realize that a lot of those awkward moments probably come down to just not understanding the protocol of the situation.
Right.
So we're going to unpack a lot of their insights and see if we can't turn protocol from a source of anxiety into like a superpower for navigating the world.
I love that. I think that's a great way to frame it.
With more grace and confidence.
Yeah, because Seibofa's point is protocol isn't just about knowing which fork to use at a fancy dinner.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the why behind those actions.
Right.
The respect,
Right.
the consideration, the desire to create smooth and harmonious experience for everyone involved.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. Seibofa defines protocol as a set of rules and customs that govern behavior. But they also make it clear that this isn't just about rigid, formal settings.
Right.
We're talking about social situations,
Roles.
the workplace, even international relations.
Right, and I think one of the most insightful things Seibofa says is that protocol is actually dynamic, constantly evolving.
Okay.
Look at how technology has changed the way we greet each other.
Yeah.
We're all pretty used to like the virtual handshake now, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, who would have thought that would have been a normal thing
Right.
just a couple years ago?
Exactly. It shows how adaptable protocol is.
Yeah.
Seibofa even makes a comparison to the COVID-19 protocols.
Oh, yeah.
We all had to learn, those felt new at the time, but essentially it was just society creating a new set of rules to navigate a very specific situation.
That's a great point. It highlights that we're constantly adjusting to new protocols, even if we don't realize it.
Yeah.
But Seibofa actually pushes back against calling protocol rules,
Right.
arguing that the term feels too rigid.
Yeah. What's fascinating here is that Seibofa emphasizes that protocol is more about establishing order and respect
Okay.
within different contexts. They use the analogy of contrasting environments, like the very formal atmosphere of an embassy,
Oh, wow.
compared to a relaxed gathering of friends.
Okay.
Each has its own protocol, and understanding those unspoken codes can make all the difference in how comfortable and confident you feel.
Okay, so maybe rules isn't the right word, but some level of structure and understanding is key. Fair?
so.
Think about it. Have you ever been in a situation where a lack of order just led to complete chaos or awkwardness? I know I have.
Oh, for sure. And that's precisely Seibofa's point. When we don't understand the protocol of a particular environment,
Right.
it can create discomfort, confusion, or even conflict. It's like being thrown into a game without knowing the rules.
Yeah.
You're bound to make mistakes and probably feel pretty lost.
So protocol is like a cheat sheet for social interaction.
Exactly.
Like that.
And it goes beyond just avoiding those awkward moments.
Yeah.
Understanding protocol can actually give you a real advantage in life.
Right.
Think about it. If you know how to properly address a potential client or navigate a delicate negotiation, that's a form of social intelligence that can really make a difference in your career.
You're right. It's like having a secret weapon. So it's not just about avoiding faux pas.
Right.
It's about
Yeah.
knowing how to make the right impression and build stronger relationships. Seibofa uses some great examples of how this plays out in social settings.
Yeah.
And they're not just talking about fancy dinners.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Seibofa talks about observing chaotic behavior at casual social gatherings,
Right.
where people were unsure of what was expected.
Yeah.
It highlights how even in those relaxed settings, a lack of understanding about basic etiquette
Right.
can create tension and discomfort.
And Seibofa's argument is that protocol, even in casual settings,
Right.
helps establish norms for polite and courteous behavior. It essentially makes everyone feel more comfortable and respected.
It's about creating a shared understanding, which can be especially important in situations where people are from different backgrounds or cultures.
So even though it's often unspoken, protocol really does serve a purpose. Now, to illustrate just how powerful protocol can be, let's move into a world that many people automatically associate with it:
Okay.
diplomacy. Seibofa talks about something called the Vienna Convention,
Yes.
which, for those who might not know, is essentially a treaty that established the framework for diplomatic relations between countries.
Yes. And this is where it gets really interesting. Seibofa shares a story about a historical dispute between ambassadors
Okay.
that almost escalated to war, all because of seating arrangements.
Wait, you're telling me that a seating chart almost caused a war?
It sounds unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
But that's how high the stakes can be when it comes to protocol,
Wow.
especially in the world of diplomacy. And this incident, as crazy as it sounds, actually played a major role in the creation of the Vienna Convention.
So they basically took diplomatic protocols and turned them into international law.
Exactly. The goal was to prevent future misunderstandings by creating a clear set of guidelines for how countries should interact with each other.
Oh.
And it's fascinating how these guidelines, which were established way back in 1951, still shape how countries interact today. As Seibofa explains, even nations that haven't officially signed the Vienna Convention
Right.
generally follow its protocols, especially when it comes to things like diplomatic visits.
It makes you realize how important those seemingly small details can be.
It does.
And it perfectly illustrates Seibofa's point about how protocol at its core is about maintaining order and preventing conflict, even on a global scale. So we've talked about the what of protocol, but what about the who? Seibofa actually provides a list of skills that a protocol professional needs.
Okay.
This includes attention to detail, communication, professionalism,
That's course.
and of course diplomacy. They even make a funny comparison saying diplomacy is like telling a man he can go to hell while laughing with him.
That's a great way to put it. It speaks to the nuance and finesse required to navigate complex situations with grace and tact.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, those skills are absolutely vital. In a world that's becoming increasingly interconnected,
Right.
understanding cultural differences and adapting protocol accordingly is crucial.
Totally.
As Seibofa emphasizes, it's all about showing respect for diverse backgrounds and ensuring that everyone feels valued and included.
So after this deep dive into the world of protocol, I'm curious, has your perception of it shifted at all?
That's a great question for our listener to consider. Because, as Seibofa points out, protocol isn't just about following a set of rules. It's about understanding the deeper reasons behind those actions.
Yeah.
It's about respect, consideration, and the desire to create a smooth and harmonious experience for everyone.
Right.
And that, I think, is a really powerful shift in perspective.
I completely agree. It's like suddenly you're not just going through the motions, you're actually thinking about the impact your actions have on others.
Yeah.
And that can make a huge difference in how you approach everything from like a casual conversation to a formal negotiation.
Precisely. It's about recognizing that these codes of conduct,
Right.
whether they're written down or simply understood, exist to make interactions more predictable and less chaotic.
Okay.
And when we understand that, it can really change the way we approach our own interactions.
It's almost like having a secret decoder ring for social situations, right?
Yeah.
You can anticipate what's coming next,
Yeah.
avoid those awkward missteps, and build stronger connections with people.
I love that analogy. It's like having a cheat sheet for navigating the complexities of human interaction.
Totally.
And the best part is, this knowledge empowers you to not just follow protocol,
Yeah.
but to actually shape it, to contribute to a more respectful and inclusive environment.
So whether it's knowing how to properly introduce yourself in a professional setting,
Right.
understanding the nuances of gift giving in different cultures, or simply being mindful of your body language in social situations.
Yeah.
Seibofa's deep dive into protocol reminds us that these seemingly small actions can have a big impact.
Absolutely. And as Seibofa aptly puts it, protocol is not just about rules.
Right.
It's about respect, courtesy, and common sense.
Yeah.
Qualities that are essential for building meaningful connections and thriving in a diverse and interconnected world.
It's like that saying, you only get one chance to make a first impression.
Right.
But with a solid understanding of protocol, you can make sure that first impression is a positive one.
Exactly.
And it's not just about first impressions.
Right.
It's about building lasting relationships based on mutual respect and understanding.
I think that's a key takeaway here.
Yeah.
It's easy to dismiss protocol as superficial or outdated.
Yeah.
But when you really delve into it, you realize that it's fundamentally about creating a more harmonious and respectful society.
Totally.
And that's something we can all get behind, right?
Absolutely. It's like protocol is the glue that holds everything together, even if we don't always see it.
It is.
And the more we understand those unspoken rules, the better equipped we are to navigate the complexities of human interaction.
And that's not to say that protocol is always perfect,
Yeah,
or that there's never room for change or adaptation.
right.
But by understanding the underlying principles, we can start to have more meaningful conversations about how to create a world where everyone feels seen, heard, and respected.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've talked about the definition of protocol, how it plays out in different settings, and even its impact on international relations.
Yeah. But I want to bring it back to you, the listener.
Okay.
What are some areas where you feel like a better understanding of protocol could really benefit you?
That's a great question to reflect on. Is there a specific situation you're facing where you feel unsure of the right way to act?
Yeah.
Or perhaps a cultural barrier you'd like to better understand?
Maybe it's something as simple as feeling more confident in social settings, or as complex as navigating a delicate business negotiation.
Right.
Whatever it is, we encourage you to take Seibofa's insights and apply them to your own life.
Because at the end of the day, protocol is about more than just rules. It's about building bridges,
Yeah.
fostering understanding, and creating a world where everyone feels empowered to connect with each other in a meaningful way.
I love that. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of protocol, I want to leave you with a few final thoughts from Seibofa that really resonated with me.
Okay.
Seibofa said that true protocol comes down to respect, courtesy, and common sense.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a powerful reminder.
It is. It's not about memorizing a bunch of arbitrary rules.
Right.
It's about approaching every interaction
Yeah.
with a genuine desire to make the other person feel comfortable and respected.
It's about recognizing that even the smallest gestures can have a big impact.
Totally.
A simple thank you note,
Yeah.
holding the door open for someone,
Right.
or even just making eye contact and truly listening when someone is speaking,
Yeah.
can go a long way in building strong relationships.
It's like those little acts of kindness are the building blocks
They are.
of a more harmonious society. And they don't require a fancy degree or a deep understanding of international treaties. They're just basic human decency
Exactly.
amplified by a little bit of awareness and intention.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes Seibofa's perspective on protocol so refreshing.
Right.
It's not about being stuffy or pretentious.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that we all have a role to play in creating a world where everyone feels valued and respected.
Yeah. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the often overlooked but incredibly powerful world of protocol,
Yes.
we hope you've gained a new appreciation for those subtle codes and cues that shape our interactions.
And perhaps even a little inspiration to become a protocol pro yourself.
Yeah.
Because as we've learned, it's not just about knowing the rules.
Right.
It's about using that knowledge to create more positive and meaningful connections
Yeah.
in every aspect of your life.
Thanks for joining us.